Hello, my name is Dirk Shimpa, and I'm going to be walking you through PracticeERP. We will specifically be talking through TaskFlow for a tax department. Quick overview about PracticeERP. What we see in most CPA firms is too many disparate systems, including workflow, by the way. So we see, usually something separate for practice management that may or may not talk to the workflow, that may or may not hit financials, and then, reporting is always more or less happens via Excel spreadsheet. So PracticeERP, what we do is we incorporate all of this into one solution, CRM, client services, and specifically we'll be talking about task flow, how that feeds into time and expenses, WIP and billing, and then eventually the finance and GL and all integrated analytics. So let's jump to PracticeERP. So our solution is role-based. We have different roles, whether you're a staff accountant, maybe a manager, a partner, a billing, even your internal controller or accounts payable. Right now, I'm logged in as TaskFlow administrator. Typically, TaskFlow admin sets up the projects, has oversight over the firm and where projects are at, and so on and so forth. So, as TaskFlow admin, I can come in here and I can type in Acme, and what we can do is we can look up a customer. Maybe you want to look up a customer for whatever reason. On a customer record, we have what is called the customer dashboard. So, I can quickly see AR balances, if there's any open WIP or progress. What grade is this client? Is it a difficult client? Who is the partner? Who's responsible for assurance? Or who's the manager? Who does the billing? Emails and phone numbers, so on and so forth. We can kind of see AR and where business is coming from, the contacts. Again, if there are overdue projects, if there's open WIP that we want to go bill, transactions, and then if I scroll down, we can also see any open projects, whether they're financials or CAS related or tax, so on and so forth. So that's a little bit about the client dashboard. If I look at the client record itself, we do have task flow built right in here. And then again, you can see projects here. We can see, so here's all the projects. We can see role assignments, like who's responsible for the review, the prepare, again, so you can take this to a pretty granular level by clients if you want to. But in the end, we have different task or task flow. So what I'm going to walk you through, and this is all specific to tax in this short little video. We have a personalization session where we'll go through and kind of understand, how, different things of how you want to run your tax department. But just so you know, our solution is 100% baked out, ready to go. So we have these different project types, 1099, CAS, payroll, and then specifically I'm going to talk about tax returns. So tax returns, we've got ones for 1040s, 1120s, so on and so forth. And again, it's 100% baked out. And then we have flows. So I'm going to scroll right down to the tax returns. We support whether it's e-filed or it's paper, and the flows may change based upon if it's e-file or paper. But you can see here where it's again ready to go on day one, where it goes to workup and then preparation and then review, to be assembled, billing, and then you can define the role or the responsibility to do that. We also do support pools, so think of a document management team or a 1040 easy team or something. So we also support pools as well. So just kind of know that there's this automated flow. So I'm going to come back in here now, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Task Flow Templates, and we're going to actually look at some of these general templates. And this will mirror very much what I just showed you in that view. So I can I can look at my 1099 templates, I could look at my bookkeeping templates, but in this case, I'm just going to want to bring up my tax return templates. So in our tax return templates, we got 1040, so that's right, the most common one. So this is a template, it's pretty blank, you'll see, but the main reason I'm bringing this up is you can see our tasks. So you can see workup, document management, prepare, review, assembly, billing, and safe send, front desk. So you can completely make this your own. You can add steps to this. You can take steps away. But you can also just know that you don't have to start from scratch. You can see where document management's going to a pool, but the prepare is going to, specific, and review is going to specific team members. We can have budgeted hours. We track actual to budget. We show if you're over or under, show a progress bar. We do alerts, and I'll show you here this in a second, if we're 50, 70, or 100% over, and even dollar amounts. We can set start and due dates and so on and so forth. So in the end, this is a project. I'm going to actually open up a 1120S, a corporate return. Same thing. We have whatever steps. There's maybe a few less steps for a corporate return than there is a personal. But I'm going to go and create a new project. So on this new project, I'm going to go to Acme, and we're going to grab Acme Manufacturing. My period end is 12/31/23. This is going to be due on the 24th. And who is going to do this work? So do I want to pull it from the client like I showed you? Maybe I want to pull it from the template. Like maybe it's a 1040 easy, and we just have the same people do the work, or a 1099. Maybe I want to, whoever did the project last year, I want them to do the project this year, or do not assign, and then you can have someone manually assign the different things. So the other part is budgeting, from an hour standpoint at a task level. Again, I can pull the budget from a template. So again, a 1040 should take the same amount of time for a simple one, or I could pull last year's actuals. And if I pull last year's actuals, maybe we'll be a little more efficient. So, and then at this point, we could hit submit, and then this is going to create a project, an 1120 for Acme. For the sake of time, I already mocked one up here. So this is recent records, by the way. Shows me all the most recent records I've had. And here is our project. There is a fair amount going on, but it is for good reason. We can set priority levels, difficulty levels. You can see we have client grading. I'll show you where that plays into, prioritizing your work. Put your A clients first. Maybe I got to reach out to the client. Maybe there's an expected completion date, like, a tax return should only be, in our office for 10 days, 20 days. You can do stuff like that. Who's the partner, the manager, and here's the tasks, right? Document, these are these same tasks. You can see where, this is at 50%, this is at 70%, and this is already over. So again, we have all sorts of alerts where you can manage if certain tasks are going over or close to budget. The other thing we do is we fully support deliverables. So you can have deliverables for state returns, federal returns, and we have ways to automate, the assembly, whether it's e-file or paper, how copies are sent, the whole shipping process, the e-file and extensions. So we've got a bunch of ways that in the workflow, it just automates, these different steps within your deliverables. The other thing we have is this concept called notes. So, you can have notes very specific to this tax return. You can have a review note. You can have a question maybe you want to send to the client, or maybe ask a partner. A note can be just for, this current period. It can be maybe for this tax return, and I want to make sure it's available for next year's tax return, or it's a permanent note for all 1120s for this client. So just kind of know that you have this ability to have notes, and there's on people's dashboard, they can see if they've got notes that need to be addressed. But in the end, this is our project. It's currently sitting in a no info status. So I'm going to go and update the status. And the first is a workup, right? We got to assign this to a partner or manager. They meet with the client. They go fill out the organizer, and when they're all done, they're going to come back and it knows workup is complete. It automatically knows the next step is to go to the document management department and to scan all of the various paperwork associated to a tax return. So now the scan department does have their own view, their own dashboard of everything that needs to be scanned. Once they're done, they're going to go to the update status, and it knows everything now goes to prepare, and it knows to go to Grace. So I'll hit submit, and now it just moves on to the next. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to actually log in as Grace. So I'm going to log in as the staff accountant. And I'm logged in as Grace. So a staff accountant is a producer. So we have this concept of my workspace, and it's basically everything a producer would need to use and see to be highly effective from a production standpoint. They can see any overdue projects that are due today, this week. They could look at if they got unrecorded time. Maybe they wanted to view their time. They could see how they're doing according to their production goals last week, this month to date. They can also see all of the projects. So I currently have 38 projects on my desk that I need to kind of work through. I can see all projects across, and maybe if I had a pool, this is where I could see, and I could just take that next project and assign it to me, and it would pull it off the pool. But I'm going to hit refresh here, and you'll see as soon as I hit refresh, this project came to my desk. It's been here 0 days. So a lot of times, someone could, focus their work on first in, first out. By the way, there's oversight on this for an admin TaskFlow admin to see if a project or something has been sitting on someone's desk too many days. So there's all sorts of oversight around this as well. Maybe I want to filter and I want to work on my A clients first, my B clients second, different stuff like that. But in the end, I can launch this. So I'm going to start this project. I open up the tax software, the trial balance software, whatever. So what I would do in that case is, we have timers. So I can, start a timer. I can stop a timer. I can resume a timer. If I'm all done, I would stop it. And at this point, I would record my time, and I'm done. It's literally super easy to record time, or if I wanted to just enter time against this project. Everything pre-populates. I can, enter more info here, and do not bill, maybe some internal notes, 2.5 hours, and hit save. So super easy to either use a timer or enter time off of a project. And then if I'm done, it now knows to go to review. It now knows to go to Cali. So I'll hit submit. And I'm going to go back to my workspace, and we'll see this is still sitting here. It's at 39. If I hit refresh, I'm at 38. You'll see this drops off. And if I now log in as a manager, as Callie, guess what? Callie has a My Workspace. She has a budget. She's got her projects. You'll see now it's sitting right here on Callie's desktop as well. So this is a very shortened version for tax, but hopefully you get a sense of the power and the robustness of the ability to move projects through. The other thing I did not call out when we started talking about projects, if I go back to TaskFlow Admin, we also have the concept of bulk rollover. So this allows a TaskFlow admin to take all of last year's, 1120s, 1099s, and go recreate thousands of them for this year. And then we have the concept of recurrence. So I'm going to do another recording shortly here where we're going to talk about task flow for CAS. So thank you very much. Please let us know if you have any other questions.